Hello everybody, my name is Sunpo and we are back with part 2 of the Fate Grand Order Servant tier list. Oh my god. Technically speaking, we kind of only gone through Singularity 0 of Fate Grand Order and Singularity 1. Now we're going to 3. Technically speaking, we kind of started with 3 because of David and some of the other servants. But we're continuing on. If you guys don't know the rules, I would suggest you to watch the first 7 minutes of part 1 to give you a refresher. But here's basically the summary. I'm only judging characters by the story in the game, their personality, and their appearance. And that's about it. The first rule would be also including, character development, if any. And yeah, that's about it. If you want a tiny bit more in depth, or maybe possibly me kind of confusing a little bit of the rules too, honestly, you can just watch the first 7 minutes of part 1. And yeah, but if you are actually watching part 2 already, you better be watching part 1 first, or you already watched it. And in that case, if you already watched part 1, we'll start it right now. That was very quick, much more quicker intro, honestly. Okay. This character. I know that technically speaking, you guys might not see it. I realized that I realized in the last video you guys might not see who the next character was, and even I don't know the name. You guys still might not know what the character would look like, or I mean, even if I know the character's name, you guys might not know what that character looks like. Like that's what I meant. I'm still a little tired. This is just still me after my studying session for me personally. To be honest, a little bit tiring. Can't wait for it to end. At least by the time this recording. Either way, let's get started again. Man, been talking too much. I know, I've just been rambling. I'm just a little tired, okay? But hopefully the adrenaline would actually kick up sooner or later. Okay. I don't remember his name, but he is actually a very good character, in my opinion. He's actually really good. I will put him move. I will put him above Ultra. No. There we go. He's a very lovable character. He's just like he's kind of like a old mentor figure who actually is like a very nice old mentor figure, basically, I would say. With a lot of experience, he might just look like the average Joe, but of course he does have a heart of a warrior, which is actually pretty nice. Whew. Okay. Francis Drake. Hmm. Honestly, like Francis Drake was actually not exactly my first 5-star in the game, but is my second. So I kind of have a lot of like personal bias in this one because it's my first one. In terms of personality, she has a very lovable personality. At least for a pirate. She's a pirate, of course. Personality is really nice too. And honestly, not your typical pirate like personality like how Blackbeard was when he was first introduced. In terms of story, she has a very good story too. A very like relate kind of not a really relatable, but a one that you would understand too. Basically going off an adventure. That's kind of it. Being there in the sea, being free and all that. I really like that. Appearance wise, appearance is actually really interesting, honestly. Of course, she does have a point where she actually does have a costume, which is not in the game, but her costume basically kind of resembles how she would look like in the other Fate series, one of the other Fate series. But in terms of personality, she actually has a very cool looking, like, she has a very cool looking, guess design with the pirate stuff on her. And the hat. The hat looks cool too. She has a very big scar, which I kind of actually want to know how she got it, but it looks very cool looking. She's very cool. And that's all I could say. I do have personal attachments for this character because this is my second 5-star that I actually ever got in the game. which is surprising, honestly. It's been a long time since I actually have her. I always put her in a party because she actually has the best moves. But I'm not talking about how servants work in the game. That doesn't sway my bias. But yeah, I think she was actually the first servant that I actually do like a lot. Like a lot. Before we actually gone through more. She was used to be my favorite until another character came along. But yeah, she's still up there, honestly. I would put her, actually, I'll put her just above the good boy, actually. Sad, I know, but I think it's just personal bias. But the only problem is the reason why I will not put her in Forever Love is because besides the story of the singularity that she goes through, and of course the side role that she plays in a certain Lost Belt, which was kind of minimal, kind of sad to see that they don't actually write more for her. She is the 5-star character, which to be honest, you think 5-star characters get more story out of them, but for most of these characters, it's kind of sad, so not really. I'll still put her here because I actually do remember a lot of more of her story and why she's actually doing what she does. Okay, I think it's Annie and Mary. Anne and Mary. We have both of them separate and both of them together. This one I'll do them separate since because they gave me the option. So let's start with, I think this one's Mary. I just need to check. I'm gonna pause recording and check and see if Don got this right. Okay, I'm back. And yeah, this is Mary. Annie. This is Annie. Yeah, this is Annie. Annie's personality is for basically compared to the duo, being the taller and mature looking one, she's very childish. Honestly, that's kind of sweet. I do personally for me, I do like the more energetic girls. In terms of personality, she is technically a one note personality, which honestly is kind of a little sad. In terms of story, her story is almost exactly in line with Mary. In terms of, for me, Anne might be basically in the good category. I will put her above Harry, like Harry. Now, in terms of Anne, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm not looking at the recording, of course. There we go. Okay. For Mary is about the same. Her personality is a bit more up there too. And in terms of like appearances, I think it's a bit more cooler. In terms of stories, the same as Anne. They're both together, working as pirates, never actually leaving each other's side. Kind of makes sense because of their how their spirit origin works and how they're summoned as. There is a tiny bit more in the their other version, which will be the swimsuit version, but I'll get to it later. In terms of now, they are basically good characters. I do think that Anne has a better personality than no, Mary has a better personality than Anne. Reason why is kind of obvious. She is a bit more mature. I do like personally, I do like Anne a bit more, but Mary has the better personality in my opinion. Okay, we'll skip the duo of them together because in all honesty, I already did them singly. So yeah. Medea, Lily, or just Medea in her prime, basically. It's kind of the same, except she was a bit more nicer. That's all I could say. Yeah, honestly, just a bit nicer. I think just above Spartacus. No, above Carmilla at least. That's where I will put her. She's just okay. Okita. Oh boy. Okita. She has a very her personality is basically kind of like the strict want to be serious type of characters, but in terms of her and another character which will be next, like Oda, um they're both basically like kind of a fourth wall breaking joke characters as most parts, even in this story. but they're just lovable that way, honestly. In terms of story, she actually goes a little more hardship than Oda, but in terms of basically like personality wise, she is I would she's up there honestly. I would say that, but I do like Oda's personality a bit more, and I do like her appearance a bit more than Okita. No offense to Okita, I still like her. It's just that in terms of basically appearance wise, I do like the red for Oda, and she's much more cooler looking. Sorry, Okita. Either way, in terms of story, kind of relates to Okita. I mean, kind of like yeah, kind of no, kind of relates to Oda. I mean, they're both start with O's at least to how I call them. But like, yeah, damn it, kind of a little confusing. I think my brain's gonna start dying soon. But yeah, um, Okita, she's in the best category, I will say. A little bit just above Jean. In terms of Oda, I kind of already explained myself for Oda already when I explained with Okita. The only reason why is because these two characters kind of just bounce off of each other, honestly. So they're kind of inseparable. But I like Oda more, personality and appearance. In terms of story, she has very much less story until you get to the point of where you actually go with, you know, her alter ego form. But yeah, basically Forever Love. I just love Oda that much. Mm, but I will put lower than Hercules. There's only one reason why. Oda can be annoying sometimes. Sometimes. Mostly in the events. And that's kind of the problem. I think the reason why is because these two, most of their story comes from the events, which is kind of sad. Skahatch. Skahatch. That's how I call her name. Um, a lot of people like her. I do too, but maybe not as much as some people do. She is a bit much like very she's not too strict. She's basically like your typical mentor figure, honestly. Like your typical mentor figure that you expect to be. Kind of calm, collected, not too strict, supporting even, basically. So yeah. I think she would work in the great category, but maybe in the bottom, at least to me. At least this version, she's cool, and she does have a bit more story and personality growth in terms of everything else. And I think that's thanks to also her swimsuit version. But that's where I would put her, honestly. I think her swimsuit version would just be below her because she becomes more strict. But personality kind of transfers later, so those two kind of interchangeable. You, the guy with two spears, he is basically in the good category, but maybe at the bottom. His personality is pretty cool. His looks are a little bit average, but they're still pretty cool too. In terms of story, not that much, but he does play some big roles in the story. Maybe just not too much, which is kind of sad. That's why I put him in the good category. Yeah, I forgot your name, but you are a kind of okay dude. If I'm gonna be pretty honest, he is technically the Brock of Figure and Order. If you don't know who Brock is, then have you ever watched Pokemon, the anime? But yes, he's kind of the Brock character, except not too creepy. He doesn't hit on well, okay, maybe I speak too. Maybe I spoke too soon. He kind of does hit on a lot of younger girls or at least women in general because he's kind of the same as Brock in the anime. Yeah, kind of. I still like him. He has his moments. Just I kind of feel like his since because he is kind of like a Brock character. He's just like maybe bottom, not bottom, like somewhat good there. That's kind of obvious. Okay, moving on. First Christmas character, Santa Alter. Personality is much more different in this one. I think Santa Alter might actually be the best. version of Alter, honestly, at least in my opinion. Nothing much in personality has changed except her not much personality change. Story has been much more different, but a little minimal. In terms of design, is very unique because you suspect her to wear red, but she wears black instead, which is actually pretty cool. Her personality changes kind of drastically to be a much more responsible, actual, real Santa, which the other versions of Santa for Fate don't really do that much, which is kind of sad. But yeah, that's all I kind of have to say. Everything I said about Alter is kind of same to this character, except personality just a tiny bit more improved, which kind of puts it best, bottom best at least. Nursery Rhyme, the book. I think most people kind of forgot that Nursery Rhyme is an actual old book. But yeah, Nursery Rhyme is a sweet little childlike person who actually has a mind of an adult and basically is like maybe 1,000 of years old or even more according to her own lore. The parts where she parts plays in the story, I don't know why I said it like that. The parts she plays in the story, they're just they're all good. Sometimes a miss, but basically there are other times, even the current one, she's just so adorable. Mm, but honestly, for me, she does actually get lumped up with the rest of the kid characters, which is okay. It's just unfortunately, that's kind of where the writers kind of put her at. Besides the recent pseudo lost belt, it's kind of just been like that. I think she would be nice in the good category. I will actually put her just above Lily. Yeah, I think that'd be worth it. Okay, Jack the Ripper, besides being like the typical, like how people. No, actually, no. Besides of just being a book, kind of the same reasons for Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper put below Nursery Rhyme. I like Nursery Rhyme a bit more, but that's about it. But the reason why both of these will be ranked kind of together is because how like the people who fake just writes them. I think Jack has a bit more story written for her. It's just that I don't think that was enough, at least not yet. Because these two are usually always lumped together. There's one more character that was also Lily that is also lumped with these two, but I will get to that soon. Mordred. This one might be a little tough. Hmm, Mordred was a character that I really kind of hate in the early parts of playing the game, but she really grew on me. She's she is really she's not good enough to be in the best, but she is a great character. In all my opinion, I think she deserves to be in the top of the great area. That's where I think she belongs. I like Mordred. No, that's about it. She is much more interesting than Saber, which is kind of sad, honestly. She does have some daddy issues, which is concerning to say the least. Not that type of daddy issues. Get your mind out of the gutter. But yeah, kind of how like Trunks has some daddy issues with Vegeta. That's what I would like to say. Okay, next, like Tesla. Hmm, I just remember the first name. I don't want to mispronounce the first name, but I know the second name, its last name. Tesla. Um, Once we get Edison here too, yeah, he's actually a pretty good character. In terms of actually no, he's an okay character. And unlike Edison, he may be a rival to Edison, where the stories actually do take place kind of sometimes together as rivals. But in terms of personality, he is helpful. Just kind of almost one note, honestly. His only personality would be like rivalry to Thomas Edison. So yeah, put him in okay there. I do believe this is Lancer Altar or Autora Pendragon Altar. A lot of people like this character. I do too, but I have to be very fair here and blunt that she doesn't have that much personality. Her design is super cool and edgy, but super cool. Her story is okay at best, but she's kind of just also there as a one-time thing for the most part. But then later she does have a little bit more story, which is a little makes her a bit more bashful. It's kind of sweet and cute, but that's kind of all there is to it. Unfortunately, I would actually last time if I would just would go for appearances, I will put her maybe at great, but I think she might be deserving of the good category. She's kind of sad, but problem is that she doesn't have that much of a very she doesn't have a very well defined personality, and she doesn't have a very well defined story arc or character development. Or either way, she's just there for us eye candy, which to be honest kind of works. She looks very badass, even if it is a bit too edgy in my opinion. But yeah, like it. You you guys can see this, right? Kind of, yeah. Yeah, you guys can kind of see this. I'll just put it down because for the most part, some of these characters would just be at the bottom here. You're pretty much a meh character, at least a bit more than Gilgamesh, I would say. Now, baggage. He's a great character. He's basically a very cool character. He was basically like, to be honest, earlier in when I was playing the game, he was basically like your average like steampunk character, right? Kind of like that, but he's like a big machine. But then later he transformed to as a giant robot that can transform into a car. He's basically essentially a transformer, which is super cool, and I kind of like that. The design is a bit hit or miss, but I do like the transforming part, which becomes a big vehicle. I like that. In terms of story, he plays a very big part of the story, at least currently from the recent Lost Belt, the pseudo Lost Belt. In terms of the other parts of the story, like London, not exactly that much, but still pretty good nonetheless. I would say he's pretty much a good character to all regards. Put him in the good area, at least maybe above Mozart at least. Jacko and Mr. Hyde. Is that right? Jacko and Mr. Hyde? Or am I mispronouncing the names? Dr. Jacko, Mr. Hyde. That's the two names. Jacko. I'll have to put these kind of a ranking at a little bit the same. So yeah, they're pretty good characters, but it's kind of typical. There would be how you would expect Mr. Jacko and Dr. Jacko and Mr. Hyde to be. Would then put him in the good category, but together basically, with the normal being the better one. Technically speaking, you could say that Mr. Hyde is just basically the Bakugo of the series, but I don't know. That's just my opinion, and I don't think that's true in the slightest. But that's kind of how I feel currently right now. Okay, best Robo Girl, Frankenstein. Technically speaking, for this version, even with the other version, it's just adorable. Kind of would put it the same edge as Mordred. The only reason is like first design looks super cool. Personality is a bit mixed, but thanks to Mordred, her personality can be explained, but also from the swimsuit version of Fran, we got that too. In terms of story, she has a very good part of the story, but not exactly that much. Now I put her here just to let you guys see better. I hope you guys can see it. Can you guys see it? Yes, you can. Excuse me. But I have to put her a little bit lower. Maybe down here. Yeah. The only reason why would be because this is technically the version of Friend that has a very hard time for me to actually kind of connect to or at least read as because As a berserker, most berserkers don't say full sentences, and second, usually Mordred's the one who would do a lot of stuff. But she is very sweet, cute, and all that stuff. Kind of deserves being in the great area, honestly. Arjuna, hmm. Arjuna is a very serious one note type of character. A god, you would say. Um, but in terms of story, surprisingly, not that much. Hmm. Yeah, the more I think about it, he doesn't have that much of a story, honestly. I mean, I think he still does. It's just that maybe outside of that. But his personality is pretty nice too. His story is pretty nice, but mostly just very minimal and one note in a certain way. There's one time where he basically boss, and his most of his like story revolves around a rivalry as well. To be honest, I think he'll be like in the okay category, at least second best in the okay category. That's where I secure. Karna, on the other hand, about the same as Arjuna, but he does have a bit more personality and a bit more story. Not to mention that his story is actually still pretty good, considering like the Lost Belt from something. I forgot the name of the Lost Belt that he actually was a major role in, but yeah, would put him in the good category, at least above Nursery Rhyme. No, Mary. That's where I would put him. Very drastic, as you can see where they are. Mysterious Heroine X. Fun fact, this is my first 5 star I actually have. So I have very high bias on this one. But kind of to be honest, she's basically what I wish Saber was. Her personality might be a bit chaotic, but it's very cute in some regards. But at least the personality is a bit more better, even though her personality just destroy all sabers. Her story isn't that much relatable. Again, it's like destroy all sabers. But her looks and design, it's cute and I like it. It's not overly cool, trying to be cool. It just looks cool. She's also kind of like a space assassin, which is also cool. But yeah, there's a personality I think is kind of what Saber's personality would have been like. And this is an alternate version, but she was from space. But yeah, honestly, I still like her. And it might still be my bias talking, but even with maybe the lack of story that she got, actually, to be honest, she does have a lot of story. It's just that her story also links up with another character, which is another version of her, which is technically an older version of her. But yeah, Mysterious Heroine X is still my favorite servant of all time. Second, no, third favorite. She's this version is my third favorite, in all honesty. But would she be basically in Forever Love? Not this version, honestly. As much as she is, even though she is my third favorite servant, um, the only problem would no, I would put her in favorite best, but pretty much like Forever Love, but like pretty much down over here. Yeah, pretty much down over here. And the only reason why would basically be the story, because later they only use her for as jokes. And to be honest, her older version is also used for jokes, but then this one's been never been used again. Kind of put the respects though. I just like the personality, and it's also just biased because she is my first 5 star, which is very much biased why I put her there. I don't know. It's my list. I can do whatever, and it's my opinion. Okay, I forgot your name, but you don't have that much I could say for. He is an okay character for all I know. I mean, not that, okay, that's not mean. He is a good character. I do think that he might be below Spartacus, at least in my opinion. And then we get to, oh god, I know who she is. I know her name. just I don't know how to pronounce it. But she has like a very sweet relationship with Siegfried. At least that's how I say his name. But yeah, pretty nice. It's cute and adorable too, especially with the both of them doing having their summer when they're both in their summer form is very sweet too. But for this version, very insecure, but she's also a Valkyrie too, and she does play a major role in the story as well, at least in the future stories. She does appear in events, but it's very minute. I think she is just a good character overall, but I will put her below here because specifically this version, not much is there. She was a big turning point still, but in the one of the Lost Belts, but I don't know. Just gonna put it there. Whew, you you're an okay dude. That's all I gotta say. He's an okay dude. Yeah, I'll put him right here. Nero Bride. Sorry. Hmm. In my honest opinion, this is my second favorite Nero. Where did I put the original Nero? Okay, so I put the original Nero in great. Normally, before so the thing is, before I actually did the interlude stuff with Nero Bride, Nero Bride alone, even with the bomb level, I would put her in the best category because I thought this would be the best version of Nero. However, that kind of was ruined when I played her interlude. It kind of just wore off. I really don't like Nero Bride all that much anymore. And once you unlock that interlude, it's just kind of painful, honestly. In my opinion, maybe you guys would be okay with it. For me, it's like kind of feel like I'm just doing all the work while she's just making the sword, and I'm not. And compared in the in-game strength, she's stronger than me, but I have to be the one to fight the enemies off. So kind of just left me alone. And in terms of story, in the actual story, you're supposed to be doing this alone, but at least in the game, thankfully, you have servants. But then, imagine you have to fight these monsters alone with no summoning power, and you have your only servant with you telling you to just keep them distracted while you she make the sword. I really don't know. And then she has to start everything all over again because she messed up one thing on the sword. And I don't know, I just kind of got some beef with that, okay? But in all honesty, she's not the worst version of Nero, but I think you guys know which version of Nero we'll be talking about soon once we get to it. But maybe not in this part. I really don't know. These two. I don't remember their names, but these two have a very different personality. I'll rank this one first. I'll rank this one first. She's an okay character, honestly. Like, she's okay, decent. I liked her personality. It's very weird how I like her personality. I think she's in the good category at least, but maybe below Ultra. Yeah. Same personality and same story, except her personality is a bit more different. She's just much more nicer, which, to be honest, it kind of makes sense why I will put them both together. Don't know why I actually want to rank them separate. I don't remember your name, but you are just okay. Maybe bottom, because honestly, in terms of story, he is written more than him and has the personality, but boring is something I would not like to say, but he is kind of boring in my opinion. I think he's just okay because at least he has something that I can go off with his personality. He might be boring, but he ain't like a blank. He ain't like something that I am indifferent from. He's okay. Oh boy, let's see what time are we at. We at our 34 minutes. Now this one maybe a super controversial take. And you already know where I'm going to put this character. There, I did it. Do I really need to say more? Here's the thing. Astolfo is the most annoying character in the game. Thankfully, well, maybe not thankfully anymore. They added like Japanese voice acting, like fucking good for this character. But I really hate Astolfo. The only reason why, no, there's multiple reasons why. One, he's a bit too needy. Two, most of the choices are forcing you to say yes. And I know it's an inside joke, but I don't like Astolfo all that much. He is also super annoying. He is maybe also one of the most useless characters in a written standpoint. He is useful in battle, but that's only in the game. In terms of story, he is the most useless character. And he's trying too much to impress the master, which is the protagonist. And that technically would be me, because I am playing in the perspective of the protagonist. And I hate this character because this character is getting on my fucking nerves. I really, really hate Estoppel. I just don't really like Estoppel. I don't. Honestly, like Estoppel is not, well, yeah, I hate Estoppel, but he's not the worst character. I'll say that. He is the second worst. There's another character here that I hate more than him, and that is a feat on its own. But yeah, Estoppel, I just hate Estoppel. Again, I don't like it. I hate his personality. The story, okay, I'll give him credit. The story for that's been written for Estoppel is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, there is no character development for this character. And most of the writing for him is just super annoying, just like his personality. In terms of looks, he kind of got that down. I'll say at least he does got the looks, but like only goes so far. Unfortunately, looks like a girl. Now this is kind of like the opposite of you guys notice. Is that mostly Astolfo and Dion would actually be always be paired up. I like Dion more because at least for him, even though no character development, at least the story and writing doesn't make him annoying, attention seeker, and a tiny bit narcissistic, of course. And I don't like that. And Astolfo is not funny at the least. I really hate Astolfo. Now go on and hate me all you want, but I really don't like Astolfo. Nothing could change my mind. The only time I think I'll give Astolfo a chance is possibly if he did something that will be in my benefit. But unfortunately, that would just be a very minor stuff, and I don't think there would be another character that could beat Astolfo being super annoying, at least in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion on Astolfo. I hate the character with a passion. I hate the character. He's just super annoying. He is pretty much useless in a story driven written standpoint. He is not useless in battle, but he is super useless in basically in the narrative sense. Like narrative wise and canonical narrative wise, he would be basically doing technically nothing much. The only time that, technically speaking, I would say that he is pretty helpful is that in the time when we were basically doing a lost belt, I believe. I don't remember which lost belt it is, but it was the one with the giant Hercules. But yeah, um, yeah, I just don't like Astolfo. The only reason, again, it's not like I don't exactly hate him as the character. He's not a bad servant to play, but he's just a bad servant on how they actually write him. He is super annoying, and to be honest, I would have looked past that and put him in the mech category. Unfortunately, the choices that the game gives you don't deny Astolfo. You have to agree with him. And that's what I hate. That's the reason why I don't like this character. Super annoying, super needy, super kind of almost narcissistic, and also the choices in the game don't let you have a Stoffel leave you alone. It's more like encouraging something I hate. So yeah, I know I've been ranting a lot. I just want to say all that now. And now, for most of you, it might be sounding like, oh, you're just nitpicking. For you guys, maybe it's true, but for me, it's not nitpicking. It's the literal fact of why I cannot stand a Stoffel. In all honesty, I can't. Now, there would be one thing. If one thing changed for Stoffel in any of the three categories, be it in a written, personality, or appearance standpoint, I would change my mind. Possibly. There's a 10% chance that I will change my mind. But for right now, no. And that is the end of this Stoffel rant. I am sorry for all you guys to hear that. I know you might dislike the video now, but hey, that's okay. It's just my opinion. In all honesty, I still hate Stoffel. I've never been a Stoffel fan. Never. Okay. Kid Gil. At least he's better than regular Gil, I'll say the least. That's all I could say. I have no much more opinions on that. Yeah, okay. I would like to call him the Don. I know that's not his name. He is a very cool character. His personality was a bit mixed, but with the character development he kind of got, and of course his part in some of the story, he's super helpful. He is a good character overall. Nothing much to say. That's kind of all I could say. He's very much still a mysterious character, at least to me. That or I kind of don't remember most of it because he's kind of a minute character. He's just there as a supporting role, which is fine by me. Excuse me. Put him below Lily. There we go. Nightingale. I like her design. It is super simple, which to be honest, by that point, it's like, yeah, everybody was either normal, but most of the more popular ones were really, really stylish and heavy on stuff. But she's super simple, kind of like it. Her personality is kind of scary though, pretty much scary. In terms of story, she has a very good story, and of course with the backstory too, which to be honest, she is almost similar as her Santa form, which will be there later. But yeah, I think I would put Nightingale in the great category because for bias. But currently, for right now, yeah, I think she might be good, just below Blackbeard at least. At least that's where I put her. Cuchulainn Alter. He's technically the same as Cuchulainn, the original, but just meaner. And that's about it. And a lot more pride, I believe. I think. Where's the original Cuchulainn? In great? Yeah, he could be in the good category. Just gonna put him here, and yeah, there we go. That's good. Med B. Hmm. I don't exactly like her. She's just okay. Put her right there. Now, this is just her original version. Don't exactly like her in the original version. Very needy and narcissistic. But at least she's not annoying. Let's say the least. Helena, personality is just sweet and cute. That includes with her, appearance as well. At least for the story, she does play a very big major role, but she is a little too childlike, maybe sometimes. Actually, no, this is not too childlike. She's actually pretty much a very well-leveled scientist and stuff like that. Would put her in a good category, below Karna. For the longest time, I always thought this he was a she, but it's a he. He's still a really cool character with fire. I really like this character. And the story about him wanting to meet his sister. like want to reunite with his sister, or at least protect his sister. It's just very sweet. Put him in the great category, above Skahatch. There you go. Actually, no, maybe not that much. We'll just put him like below Saber. There, that's better. There we go. Okay. Unfortunately for this one, personality is really nice, except not much of a story. Uh, in terms of appearances, he's pretty alright. Put him in a good category, at least below Bel-Air. Thomas Edison. Design is very, very unexpected. I do like his design. He is a very cool looking character. In the game, apparently, he is the weakest one, but we're not talking about the things in the game. In terms of personality, he is really much a very nice, caring person, honestly. Kind of almost like a father figure, honestly. But in terms of story, he has a very good story. His rivalry with Tesla is very funny, but that's kind of all I could say. He is legit just bottom of good, honestly. No, there. I think he's actually a good solid second for me. I like you. Don't think I don't think I can say much, but I do remember I actually did like him. He's a very spiritual type of guy, and I really do like him for that. He's also very wise too. And for the story, he does have a very good amount of story, at least in the American Singularity, but that's kind of about it. Don't remember much. I think I'll put him a tiny bit lower, maybe into the good category, but I'll think about it. If none of these characters have changed position ever since the first part, that's kind of means that I actually kind of put them there for now. I'll change it later at the final. Billy the Kid. He's a very simple guy. I do think he would fit in the category just below Elizabeth. That I don't have much to say. He's pretty much a one note kind of character, or at least a character that's kind of fully explained already by just looking at him. And then a Billy the Kid. Now, this one is also one that a lot of people like. For me personally, I also like, but not as much, again, as other people think. For me personally, where I put, yeah. Personally, for me, I put her basically kind of where Mordred is. She kind of has the more like Mordred energy, in my opinion. That's all I could say. That's literally all I could say. In terms of story, she's kind of in my personal opinion, she kind of is written a tiny bit better than regular Jean or Jean. But I think that might be the other version of her, of course, which would be the swimsuit version. Jesus Christ, we still have a lot, but we're kind of going a little bit more quicker now, at least. Yeah, yeah. Not an hour yet. We still have time. This is the zero-star servant. He is a creepy motherfucker. He is a creepy mother trucker. Uh, I don't. But the thing is, I never summoned him, and I'd never seen anybody who did a video on this character. If you guys have one, I would like to actually watch that because there is no way I will get this character. You can only get this character from the friend summon, and I can't get that. But as much as I do know about this character, he's like the bottomest of bottom meh. Reason why his first reaction to when you first see him in the story, when you're not summoning him, it's a bit creepy. Like he was angry and then he became creepy. So, but if you guys know the story, you know what I mean. I don't have much to say about you, but you are okay at least. Put you above right here. I can only say I don't have much to say. Emia Alter. You are also okay. He's technically the same as Emiya. Or no, this is Emiya Assassin. He's technically the same as Emiya, but much more secretive and not much story in it. So he's bottom of okay. That's all. Assassin of the Thousand Arms. At least that's how I remember. I don't exactly remember, but that's how I put it. I really like this character. Personality, I mean, she has a lot of personalities, honestly, which is kind of hard to keep track. She's like a over 100 personalities, if you want to say like that. It's kind of like a personality disorder that this person has, but of course, kind of like a superpower instead, where every version of you is just basically a part of your personality. That would include that you get to know all of them, and to be honest, that's actually pretty unique. In terms of personality, so I cannot really do personality because our personality could just be changed and I could just do whatever I want. But this is technically the specifically the female one, which is the main one you see. And for that personality, kind of strict and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say the best. In terms of story, there was an event that basically that she has a very good story with. There's also the interlude that she has a very good story. The story that she first appeared in, which is a Singularity, is also really good, and about the same as the One Arm Hassan. Where is One Arm Hassan anyway? She's like bottom best. No, she's like yeah, she's there between Ushi and Denki. I like her. She's very cool too, and especially with the appearance. I like her. I really like her third ascension, honestly. Okay, Ilya, the one from Fate Zero. Yes, this game does cross over with other Fate properties. I think that's kind of obvious. Hmm. Personality is pretty nice, but the story is kind of lackluster. She's really just an okay character, in my opinion. Would be above. Geez, there. Okay, Shuten. Hmm. She does have a lot of good story, and her design is unique as well. The only thing is that her personality. Don't really like how I don't really like her personality. I'm surprised that most people do, which is kind of strange, but I don't really like it. To be honest, she is okay at best. Would put her at least above Elizabeth, at least. No, at least again below Elizabeth. There we go. Now, this is one of the first 5 stars that I actually tried to get, and I got her on the fifth try. Also, this is my third 5 star. No, this is my third. No, this is my yeah. This is my third 5 star. I think I don't remember, but last time Drake was. I don't think earlier in this video. I don't remember. It's been a while again. Shit. But yeah, Drake is my fourth. This is my third. I do love this character. The character design is a little tiny weird, but I do like her design. Personality, if personality, like to be honest, she could be like a Sun Wukong, in all honesty. But every time I see her, I kind of remind her. She kind of reminds me of like just a female Goku, and not in the fighting way. Just that she's almost hungry all the time, which is kind of weird considering that she's supposed to be kind of fasting in a way because of the religion of the being the Buddhist or just being the Buddhist monk, of course. She is super inspired. Of course, she's a character from Journey to the West, which, to be honest, that's a guaranteed love in my book. But yeah, in terms of story, she has a very great story. In terms of basically her event, which is just technically a shorter version of Journey to the West, at least for her side of the story. But yeah, in terms of other anything else, I mean, she has one more part of the story, which, to be honest, she only appeared at the end, and that's kind of where everything was okay. And that's how I remember. I don't remember that was the right one. I might need to look back at the story again. But I like her. She has a very good design and personality. And in terms of story, she has a very nice story. I think because of her being very close to basically like the Journey to the West folktale or the story, I do like her. She would be the love forever part and would be above Iran, which is kind of weird why I put double X at the bottom here. I think that's because I found another person. If this was before, double X would be in second, but I think with, of course, with everybody else kind of here having a bit more, at least in the middle, having a bit more character development with them, except Margu, he's just cool. Yeah, would make sense why X would be down here. Just good with that. But yeah, I'll put Sazang in the top because Journey to the West just has a very good spot in my side of my heart, honestly. And of course, her personality is pretty cute. Of course, her kind of being like is the master and student, but I'm the student, she's the master. She is kind of like that. Honestly, just think of like personality of like Goku and Bulma in the early Dragon Ball series. That's kind of who she is, and it's kind of sweet. Not sweet, adorable. Honestly, not sweet. It is a bit frustrating though. I will say that much. Okay, Ryuku. Hmm. I, like many people, do like her, but of course, I'm more than just appearances. Her story is actually really nice too. And of course, her personality is really much of a mother figure. Of course, later in the story, they write her being a bit more serious, actually writing her warrior side, which I actually do like. And she's very scary as a warrior. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I really do like her still. I think she is not exactly, I would say, like the ones I would say forever love, because considering how she kind of is. I mean, I would, but unfortunately, the personality is kind of getting in the way too. The only reason why, and I think she's kind of too nice for me to actually put it up there. I think that's why. There she doesn't exactly have any flaws. Although I do think that later down the line, when you go with her, like when they write her in events, they kind of just give her the mother role to Kentucky, which kind of is kind of a little sad, honestly. I still like her. Just yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say. I think hopefully other people like her besides her appearances. I like her because of her personality and her story. And it's kind of a little tragic, honestly, if you know her story from the recent Lost Belt, of course. I think at the end, too, how the history kind of repeated, how history kind of gone to the way it was, which is just the original timeline. I put Kentucky Forever Love, that's right. I think you're below Best Boy, because Best Boy is still Best Boy. I know, I think maybe yeah. Best Boy is Best Boy. He be always be in the best top category in best because he's Best Boy. I don't remember his name though. I just only remember he's Minotaur, basically. But I don't want to call him that. Ryder Kentucky. He is just a badass looking rider. He is exactly the same as the other one, so I'll just lump him in there. In terms of personality, it is a bit more different, but I mean, tiny bit. There's only like a 10%. There's only like a 5% difference, but it's kind of enough. And this is actually, honestly, Ryder Kentucky is mostly just the default look of Kentucky for like a very long while in Fate until he came back to his original self again. Kind of weird, honestly. But mostly you'll see this one in events. Hibaki, Banana Oni. She's funny, but that's kind of all I could say for her, unfortunately. She's just funny, cute, and funny, but that's kind of about it. That's all I could say. She's a good character. She has a kind of a decent story too. But honestly, without shooting, it's just yeah. I do like her a bit more. but only so much. I think maybe she'd be best if she stayed with Shuten. Yeah, maybe just above Elizabeth at least. Yeah, I was going to put like that. All right, Fumu, Fua, Fuma. Don't remember. I don't remember how you say his name, but I like this character. He's a cool ninja dude. Ninjas are cool. His story is actually kind of sad, of course, in the Hiroshima one, in the last spell, and of course his story with in the events as well, and then the personality wise too, and of course the story with you. He's kind of like the brother that you never have, and that's actually kind of sweet. His brother, of course, his appearance. He's a ninja. Ninjas are cool, so he already gets an automatic one. It takes a while to actually get him to have a story, but it's actually pretty worth it. He is basically actually the best character, I will have to say, right below Ryoki. There we go. Okay, I did have high hopes for this character, but hmm, yeah, I don't know. He's just okay. Like legit, he's just okay. He's better than Gilgamesh, that's for sure. He's just okay. That's all I can say. Galwin, he is very. Besides being a feminist, he is a really cool character. Of course, beginning, I don't like him that much because he is pretty annoying, and he just has a duty. But that's just his duty. Actually, no, this is not him. This is not him. I actually forgot. This is not Gawain. This is Gawain. I actually just realized that. Then this must be. I realize is also that I can't really tell the symbol on some of these servants, but I realize this is a lance, and with this is actually Altria Pendragon, the Lion King. I really do not remember this character looking like this. But then again, most people don't really keep the armor on. Makes sense. But okay, let's do the Lion King then. Okay, so yeah. Altria Pendragon Lancer, also known as the Lion King. I really like this character. In terms of comparing to the regular, like the Lancer Alter. Where's Lancer Alter? Lancer Alter is good, but she has a personality, which kind of makes her to the category all by herself. But she actually has more personality than even the regular Saber, and I think a more not much of a likable personality, but a more relatable one at least. Her story has been written to be very good as an antagonist, though, and unfortunately, she doesn't have that much of a bigger role later. It's just that, yeah, she has a role as an antagonist in the Camelot Last Spell. That's kind of about it, and that's kind of all I could say, in all honesty. So, yeah. Personally, for me, I do like this character. I do like the design. I do like every single design of her Ascensions. The armor was cool, but the armor was the most cool looking one, but not that memorable, unfortunately. I kind of am a more fan of her second Ascension, I believe, where she still has the armor, just no helmet, I believe. I really don't remember. But yeah, personally for me, I kind of will put her just below best because Santa Alter is still a bit more, have a like a better personality in terms of being a normal person, but Lancer Alter has the more quote unquote understandable personality. I don't. That's all I can say. Ludicrous. I like Nidicrus. I love her design. I love her personality. Her story is she kind of doesn't really have much of a story, but I like her personality. She kind of tries hard to be the next good pharaoh, which is sweet, but she kind of stuck as being a servant. I would actually put her just below. No, yeah, just below him. Yeah, I just like her. I really like her a lot. Because of her personality, and of course the Egyptian look never gets old, honestly. Lancelot, the actual real one. It's very funny how Lancelot actually reacts around MASH. Lancelot is actually a pretty good dude. Put him in the great category. And to be honest, I'll put him above Mordred, honestly, because I really like him. He is actually one of the nicest guys, at least when you're not fighting him, of course. Tristan. Tristan is a very somber dude. He's actually pretty good. I'll put him in a good category. He's kind of the same as like Tristan, and he's kind of the same as Lancelot, but as one of the antagonists here, he is kind of very annoying, and I don't really like him that much. But he is still a pretty alright character. Would actually just put him below Alta. Yeah, now Gawain, the actual Gawain. Jesus Christ, I don't know why I got that mixed up anyway. Either way, we're just gonna get Gawain up to basically in the good, best area. He is a no great area. He is a great character. Would put him just above Nero Bright. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, the only reason why I put him here is legit just because I don't know. He's better than Nero Bright, I say the least. He may be a feminist, but like he's still a great dependable guy. Really nice too. He just have a very bad habit of being a feminist. And that's about it. Or womanizer. Maybe womanizer is actually maybe the right correct term. I don't know why I said feminist. I'm just stupid. Okay. Okay. I know you're another Hassan, the poison one. She's super sweet, cute, adorable. Her story is actually pretty sad, but that's kind of all I could say in terms of where I would put her. She has the same amount. I like her about the same as the one arm assassin, but maybe a bit more. I think I'll put her just below here because her personality, at least her story, is actually pretty sad. But she becomes taking a liking to you because you're unique. Kind of like that little dynamic too. Although it does get a little out of hand a tiny bit. Would actually put her in the great category. Change my mind. But maybe above Kukulin at least. Yeah. Don't know I could say more about her though. I think it's maybe her appearances more. Personality too. The story kind of makes she is actually really the last addition in the story that doesn't do much. But I think her personality makes up for it. Hmm. Yeah, I remember you. I like you. I'm surprised that he's in the Camelot lost belt, honestly. But yeah, he's actually a really great character. He's a great character. I'm just gonna put him right here. I think it's enough said. I don't think I can say more about him. He is really much just a one-note side character there, but he actually does play a kind of a big role in terms of the food plotline. Am I the only one who thought this character was a woman at first? I did, but yeah, he's actually a pretty good dude. He's pretty cool. But yeah, he's actually just a good character. I like him. With the story and character development, not the really much character development, but the story he's in is actually pretty good. At least the role he plays. Put him right here. Yeah, there we go. Time we're at. Okay, another hour and 10 minutes. That's basically it. Where we're gonna stop. Jesus Christ, we still have a lot, but at least at this point in time, um, yeah. Okay. So for next time, the swimsuit characters are going to be a very much of a very fast blast. Basically, we're not going to go do too much with them. And their personality wise, well, some of them might change, but not that much. And yeah, well, this is basically it. We got from here all the way up here, and more than we did last time. So yeah. So What do you guys think? What is, and again, leave a comment down below. Which is your favorite servant in the Fate Grand Order series, or at least Fate series in general? And again, this is just my opinion on most of these characters. Okay, and yeah, remember like I said in the part one video, which was last week, I'm actually recording this just a few minutes right after the first part. So I'm just really tired. I'm gonna go to sleep now, and hopefully all this saves when I exit the tab. But yeah, that's about it for the video. I'm Sunpo. I'll see you guys next time in part 3, apparently. Oh boy, we have a lot to go. But hey, I'll just let you guys know right now. We are stopping around somewhere around here actually. We're stopped like somewhere around like here. I hope you see my mouse because we're stopping right here. Because that's kind of where the current lost belt is, the pseudo lost belt. But yeah. Well, see you guys in part 3. I guess this might be a 4-part series then, huh? Oh boy.